reading from Isaiah. Listen to me, you that pursue righteousness, that you seek the Lord. Look to the rock from which you were hewn, and to the quarry from which you were dug. Look to Abraham your father, and to Sarah who bore you. For he was but one when I called him, but I blessed him and made him many. For the Lord will comfort Zion. He will comfort all her waste places, and will make her wilderness like Eden, her garden like the garden of the Lord. Joy and gladness will be found in her, thanksgiving and the voice of song. Listen to me, my people, and give heed to me, my nation. For a teaching will go out from me, and my justice for a light to the peoples. I will bring near my deliverance swiftly. My salvation has gone out, and my arms will rule the people. The coastlands wait for me, and for my arm they hope. Lift up your eyes to the heavens, and look out at the earth beneath. For the heavens will vanish like smoke, and the earth will wear out like a garment. And for those who live on it will die like gnats. But my salvation will be forever, and my deliverance will never be ended. The word of the Lord.
Thanks be to God.
A reading from Romans. I appeal to you, therefore, brothers and sisters, by the mercies of God, to present your bodies as a living sacrifice, holy and acceptable to God, which is your spiritual worship. Do not be conformed to this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your minds, so that you may discern what is the will of God, what is good and acceptable and perfect. For by the grace given to me, I say to everyone among you, not to think of yourselves more highly than you ought to think, but to think with sober judgment, each according to the measure of faith that God has assigned. For as in one body we have many members, and not all the members have the same function. So we who are many are one body in Christ, and individually we are members of one another. We have gifts that differ according to the grace given to us. Prophecy in proportion to faith. Ministry in ministering. The teacher in teaching. The exhorter in exhortation. The giver in generosity. The leader in diligence. The compassionate in cheerfulness. The word of the Lord.
Thanks be to God.
Matthew, the 16th chapter. Now when Jesus came into the district of Caesarea Philippi, he asked his disciples, "Who do people say that the Son of Man is?" And they said, "Some say John the Baptist, but others Elijah, and still others Jeremiah, or one of the prophets." He said to them, "But who do you say that I am?" Simon Peter answered, "You are the Messiah, the Son of the living God." And Jesus answered him, "Blessed are you, Simon, son of Jonah, for flesh and blood has not revealed this to you, but my Father Father in heaven. And I tell you, you are Peter, and on this rock I will build my church, and the gates of Hades will not prevail against it. I will give you the keys of the kingdom of heaven, and whatever you bind on earth will be bound in heaven, and whatever you loose on earth will be loosed in heaven. Then he sternly ordered the disciples not to tell anyone that he was the Messiah. The Gospel of the Lord.
Thanks be to God.
So it's time for the kids' message. And come on up here. I need your help today, Gloria. I really do. We have a friend out here. I don't know if you want to come up with your mom. No, that's okay. You just listen from there. So if I asked you to draw a picture of the church, what would you draw? What would it look like? Would it look like this, maybe? Like this church building? Maybe something like that? It's a beautiful church. I can't draw that well. That's a photograph. Or would it look like this? Here's a bunch of people, our people from Vacation Bible School. Remember that day? The last day? Or maybe would the church, if you drew the church, would it look like this? Here's a group of our people down in the Mexico Mission. They've just finished building a house. What do you think? Which one's the right picture? All of them. Good girl. I knew I could count on you. So the church, Jesus says to Peter, his friend, actually Peter's real name was Simon, and Jesus gave him a nickname, Peter, and the name Peter means rock. So Jesus says to Peter, you are Peter, and you are the rock, and on this rock I will build my church. Now we know, don't we, that Peter was not perfect, right? And so, but Jesus said, I'm going to build my church on you anyway, on your confession of faith. That's pretty amazing. Jesus saw something in Peter that had great promise. And so, and Jesus says the same thing to us. You are my church. You are my people. I'm going to build my church on you. So the church, we're going to sing a song later on. The church is not a building where people go to pray. It's not made out of sticks and stone, right? Not made out of clay. And then it goes on. We are the church, the body of the Lord. We are all God's children. We have been restored. So we are the church. All of us together. And each of us has different gifts. We all bring something different that God has given us that we can use in sharing God's love with the world. And that's a cool thing. And here's something, a little bit of food for thought. The New Testament, many of you know, was originally written down in Greek. So the word church appears a whole bunch of times in the letters in the New Testament, but only twice in the Gospels. And both times it's in Matthew. So this is one of those two times that the word church appears. And the word church in Greek is ekklesia, and it comes from a verb, because God is all about action, right? Action words are verbs. And the verb is ekkaleo. Can you hear the word call in that? Ekkaleo. Call. We are called. So literally the church means we are the called out ones. We are the called out people of God. Ekklesia. Just for you guys out there, you find that word ecclesiastical? That's where it comes from. Ecclesia. Anyway, thanks for coming up. So we are the church. Remember that. And God has work for us to do. Amen.